Welcome to Cevo Secret Sauce, where we interview the celebrities of Cevo and figure out what makes them tick. Michael O'Leary, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I know you're not a huge fan of spice. The ones we've selected here are honestly not that bad. It goes from least hot to most hot. I'm convinced you'll get to at least here before you even go, oh, that is a bit hot.
Yeah, I think you're, I think you have higher expectations of me than most other people do. We'll see.
Let's find out.
Excellent.
That's the one.
Do you have to eat the whole thing?
You can take a small bite, you can take a big bite, you can do whatever you want. That's a good way to go. In the DevOps practice, I'm interested to know what the perfect consultant for you would look like, particularly around the soft skills perspective.
What I really like in a DevOps consultant is someone who's not just technical, obviously, but who's able to articulate the benefits of infrastructure as code, CI/CD, software release management, particularly to people who are not used to dealing with technical people. So any sort of business stakeholders, project managers who wouldn't be technical. Those are kind of the high level things that I love to see in a technical person as well as a DevOps engineer.
This first one clocked in at 1,600 Scoville units. So this is the one on your bottom right there.
Excellent. This one here?
Yep.
You first?
No, sure. As with the growth of Cevo, we're looking at obviously hiring a lot more consultants. We're going to end up with a lot more consultants that join that are potentially not from a consulting background, but rather are more technical and don't have a lot of the soft skills that we kind of want or need to make a Cevo grade consultant. What the question I have is, what is the growth plan that you kind of focus on for someone that has just started, strong technically, decent soft skills, but to build on that over 1 to 2 years, to turn them from a junior consultant straight off the street into a senior consultant?
Again, if they don't have those soft skills, one of the things we want to do is try and encourage the confidence around taking that technical knowledge that they have, which they're quite au fait with, and getting them comfortable with standing up in front of a room that may be just internally working with the senior consultant to kind of play back, do a small demo about what we've done today, what we're doing tomorrow, start walking through a solution and being comfortable to stand up there, present their findings, and also be able just to, play a bit of ping pong with that senior consultant when they ask tough questions. I think I've worked with you a couple of times around talking about how we can try and encourage junior consultants or mid-level consultants who aren't used to doing that and do it in a safe environment where we communicate, play through role plays of what their presentation is going to be like in front of a customer. And particularly if you get a challenging customer, you could have different levels of customer, very, very friendly customers, but you might have really challenging ones. And having those kind of political defaults to go back to saying, let me take that offline and come back to you. Just building out that kind of, I suppose, playbook of if you're not able to answer it, then we've got a default. I can go back and research and furiously figure out what the answer is to that before the next meeting with that customer,
And not being afraid to say, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's always better to kind of have that I don't know, but follow up with someone than giving them the wrong answer. Yeah.
So how's that for spice?
It's pretty good.
We're building
I actually like the ranch. It's quite nice.
Are we building a nice little level of trust here that I haven't?
So far, I'm waiting for the surprise.
This is Cadeo. It is 15,000 Scoville units compared to 6,000. It's quite nice.
Excellent. So which one am I looking at?
That's the one on your bottom left.
Bottom left. All right. Cheers.
Cheers. So probably an extension question of that then is that 2-3 years down the track, we've elevated, built the confidence of this now senior consultant. What do we do to build them further? They want to take on more. They want to become a lead consultant. They want to be a pod lead. They want to work towards a managing consultant. How can we support that growth and building that with them?
Yeah, excellent question. So one of the things that we like to see when people progress into leads is a little bit of ability to do some time management for themselves. So that could be project management as well, if they're on a customer on their own, doing things around our delivery framework, as you know, in Cevo we have, around weekly status reporting, just planning their work during the week, communicating the work and how they're progressing with the customer. And if they have any kind of blockers, just being able to get in contact with the customer early, call it out, and tell them what they need to do to unblock them so they can be successful within their engagements. So I'd like to see them add a layer of kind of project management to their own work and communication around that work to an engagement.
Are we still building more trust here? I haven't worked so hard on anyone throughout this process.
Still building the trust.
It is getting warmer. This one will be,
a 5 out of 10.
Probably about a 5 out of 10. So, yeah, but it's not that bad. They reckon 36,000 Scoville units, which is about double the previous one.
Yep.
Cheers.
It's not you.
So, covering off that part of it, I think that one thing that I've been kind of following on and asking about is, I asked you at the start of core soft skills for consultants. Everyone's had a pretty similar take on their kind of top 3. I'm thinking of what are the other ones to kind of expand that list out. So, what's your, 4, 5 and 6 in the list of soft skills that the consultant should have outside of good communication?
Adaptability. Generally, when we land as a consultant, you're going to be outside your wheelhouse. You're always going to discover a new technology. The IT industry moves super fast. I think if you take Moore's Law into account, every 2 years there's a new product.
Careful around your eyes. Don't touch your eyes.
Rub in my eyes.
I would not recommend that.
So every 2 years, as you said, in Moore's Law, computing power doubles. New technologies come out, new infrastructure as code, new CI/CD, new programming languages. A lot of the same principles apply to them, but there's also having the ability to spend a bit of extra time outside of work to actually carve out time to learn that new technology. Excuse me, hiccups there. That spice is starting to hit. But having the ability to spend a bit of time and become, a focus pillar within Cevo, for someone to be, we'll go to him for Terraform or him to this product in AWS, whether it be workspaces or it be cloud native, and be able to adapt and build on your portfolio. The more useful and more different sectors you can work across, particularly in DevOps space, you generally start with system administration, you go into networks over the years, and then you go into automation of those. And being able to have infrastructure as code as well as programming, as well as knowing those foundational pieces, and then moving up the application stack is huge. So having that ability to be adaptable, give it a go, obviously, not in a production environment, but do it with a reduced risk somewhere, and understanding how to execute with reduced risk is a great way to kind of build your career as a consultant. When you add in the project management, a little bit of business focus, and that communication skills, I think you can become a real powerhouse in guiding a team as well as guiding a customer.
How are you doing with the spice? It was definitely spicier, but...
Bit of a slow burn, yeah.
No, I'm not. I just want to, for the record, just point out that I've not lied. I said you'd easily get up to here.
Yes. So where are we going next?
Next is Brooklyn Deli. This is Indian curry themed hot sauce.
Excellent.
It's hot.
Okay.
It's not.
Somewhere between.
You won't die. That is the one at the bottom.
Cheers.
But it tastes good as well.
Don't you?
Juggling clients and projects and internal work is a challenge for all consultants. Can you remember a time where that has really hit hard for you? And I'm certain you can, knowing your workload. And more specifically, with that in mind, how do you equip the people around you to manage their stresses and context switching better than you did at the time?
Yeah, one of the things within Cevo that's really prevalent is the I think they call it the hive mind here, but it's just generally everybody in Cevo is a pretty good egg for helping out, right? If they don't know there's a problem, they can't help. So one of the things I would always say is if you're struggling, and sometimes it can be struggling with just a mindset, you don't know what you don't know. Bouncing things off someone else, again, one of those people we talked about earlier who's a lead consultant or a managing consultant, they've been around the block in consulting a while, and they'll be able to basically help you ensure that you're aligning whatever goals you're working on internally with your client to their business goals for success, right? So that's kind of the first pillar, I would say. When you go and have one of those conversations, sometimes you're just blurting out stuff, thinking out loud in a private space with other Cevo consultants. And you might even think of the answer yourself. I don't know how many times I've suffered in silence, frustrated with the problem, and then eventually turned around and asked the question to someone else and immediately gone, oh, there's the answer. So I've just asking the question, I've already answered it because it triggered a thought in my head. But if you don't get that reaction, it's always good to sit down and play through it with one of those leads or managing consultants and get their kind of industry experience, not only from making sure you're right with the business kind of angle, but also with the technical angle as well. Because they might come up with a technical solution which is slightly more efficient, and it's always a good way to learn as well. Standing on the shoulders of giants, I suppose, is the short answer.
How you doing with spice? You killed that last one.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I got a bit of bone as well, though.
I mean, if you're trying to up the pain level, I mean, eating the bones as well is. I mean, you can. I'm not...
A little bit of extra fibre in the diet.
Calcium, there's all kinds of good stuff in there.
Mushroom mayhem.
Mushroom mayhem.
This looks like this one, is it?
Yes, correct. It is hotter. This goes from the 39,000 of the Brooklyn Deli to 68,000.
Excellent.
Excellent. You're doing good so far.
So far, so good.
It definitely tastes like mushroom. Outside of work and outside of consulting, what have you taken away from your personal life that correlates very well to consulting in a way that doesn't make any sense?
Oh, God. Tough questions.
It is a tough question, but I'm keen to know what outside of where have you used consulting skills in your personal life?
Yeah, look, I suppose the consulting life has always kind of helped in terms of you've just got to get sometimes stuff done. And sometimes that may take a lot of hours. There might be a lot of learning on a job, like I said, ability to adapt. And I think there's been multiple times where in my personal life, when I played rugby, I would spend a lot of hours training, doing extra time outside on the rugby pitch. But that has translated from consulting, because it was only when I actually started doing consulting that I actually saw the hours I was putting into consulting and then realized I could do that with rugby as well. And that led to some pretty successful rugby in Australia. Not so much in Ireland because I was never a consultant, but it was really good for my rugby career. So just having that kind of understanding other people's perspectives, working in a team together to deliver a result.
So you went all right with that one?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
There's 2 more to go. Dreams of Calypso.
Yeah.
By Angry Goat.
Oh, well, sláinte. Oh my god. That's gonna burn.
You mentioned adaptability and basically being out of your wheelhouse when you land at a new client site. I agree. I think it is one of the things that is most important, in that you're never going to be, if you ever get put onto a job where you are 100% perfect for the role, then we've somehow missed the mark. We should have done it differently, in that suited to the role, in that it is 100% your skill set, and you're not going to learn anything new there. That's not for your benefit. How do we help consultants that are obviously going to be out of their depth and aren't quite happy to manage that, or don't quite understand how to manage that imposter syndrome or whatever it is? How do we get them through that to make sure that they can deliver and achieve what they can? Don't touch your eyes.
Can you ask that question again?
Don't touch your eyes, whatever you do.
I know, I'm not touching my eyes.
So,
Sorry.
imposter syndrome and consultants that aren't quite ready to, or that don't know or aren't comfortable with being dropped in and not knowing exactly what they're doing. How do we support them?
Yeah, look, I mean, in those situations, I think we obviously have multiple different engagements with Don't Touch Your Eyes.
Don't touch your eyes.
With Cevo. And I think a team-based engagement is a good way to start a lot of those consultants off. Learning through, I suppose, through peers is a good way to work, and working closely. So, again, I know in this world today, we've gone highly remote. But if you're a junior engineer and you're aspiring to pick up and build up your career, particularly in consulting, being on site with other consultants is a huge thing. So I'd always try and firstly lead in as a consultant and schedule days where you're in the office with your peers. Don't get me wrong, working from home is great. You don't have to travel. You get an extra 2 hours of work a day if you want to get through stuff. But being on site and communicating with senior consultants and just being able to tap them on the shoulder, they might have more time for you than jumping on a video call. And you can walk through solutions. They can point you in the right direction a lot quicker, instead of you trying to Google answers yourself. Or you also understand and see how other people work. So you might even just benefit from, I never knew every once in a while a little shining spark of light comes up, and you turn around and gotta go, I might do what he did there with that customer. That was really smart.
Mike, you've made it to the end.
Yep.
You've gone all the way through. We're down to the last one. Taco vibes only. Traditionally, when this is done on the show that we've taken inspiration from, they'll add a little bit of extra sauce. Is that something you want to do? You've come this far. So.
Oh, sorry. So that
is this one. No, that's this one.
But you're giving extra.
You can put some on your plate and then dip it into it as well. That's a perfect.
Was that silly?
No, that's fine.
That was a rookie mistake, wasn't it?
You'll be fine. You'll enjoy it. It does taste very nice. It is very hot, but it does taste very nice.
Here's the chilled toilet paper. Oh my God, what was I thinking?
Mike, you've made it to the end. You've had the last dab. You are probably of this category of consultants that went through, the consultants that hate spice. You have shown a ton of heart. And I think it's that kind of heart that is you bring that to work every day. I'd love to ask you another question just so that I can make you talk through this, but I'm so appreciative of what you've done here. Mate, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you for having me.